And now Clark comes up with a steal. Clark thought about pulling up from three, will dip inside and lay it in. There are the first points in the WNBA career of Caitlin Clark.
Take it at the rim. Here, hesitation. You have to come out on her. It goes by. Her first.
Back Benley. Here's Clark, a good look from three. She got it! The first three in the career of Caitlin Clark.
But Caitlin Clark does not need much space here. The screen comes off, drains a three. That's one of the few good looks, and it's not even that great of a look that she's gotten here so far.
Here's Clark off a screen, gets a look, and hits.
But then on the offensive end, I mean, that's a great contest by Carrington. She goes over this.
Ball ends up in the arms of Indiana. Great look. Smith able to finish off the dime from Caitlin Clark. Probing, drags out Nelson Adota. Clark will fire and hit the three. Caitlin Clark with her third three of the night as her parents celebrate. And the Las Vegas Aces. Caitlin Clark knows what to do with a big.
When you got it big, what do you do if you're Caitlin Clark? You shoot on them.
Just no space. Connecticut everywhere. Here's Clark with Banham guarding her. Clark gets bumped, will take, and hit from three. Clark up to 18 points. Sabrina had this crowd on a string at Barclays as Clark able to bank it in on the drop before the Liberty fell to the Aces in 4 games. Clark connects on a three.
Caitlin Clark here gets the switch on the screen. Smaller Vandersloot defending her. Easier to see over Courtney from behind the arc.
An 11-0 run for New York. Clark, she got another. Second three of the quarter for Caitlin Clark.
Dinner in the history of the league, you might want to get out on her. And then Caitlin, wow, that was a really good of a screen. Give her just an inch. She just needs to find a way to get a little bit of space.
Here's Clark turning the corner, lays it in. 10 points in the first for Caitlin Clark.
You'll see it here. Aaliyah Boston just right there. Enough space, forces the switch. Jonquil Jones, a really good rim protector, but Kate.
The other day, I know I'm going to get grabbed. I'm going to get chucked. Backdoor, Clark lays it in. As she loses, Lainey
Hamilton has been to Caitlin Clark all night tonight.
Are you talking about my high school experience? Clark connects on a deep three. Katie Lou Samuelson can't hit the long two. It stays here with Indiana. Clark, a deep one. You bet! A Brooklyn logo bomb from Caitlin Clark. Now realizes it. Clark trying to take her defender, pulls up and hits from the mid-range. 20 points for Caitlin Clark.
A really good feel for when she should take a defender based on who it is. And that time going to her left.
Here's Clark. Here comes Sabally. Clark drags her out, races in. Clark will lay it home. 22 points. Here is Clark. She will launch and bury a three.
And Hamby had a clear out.
Giroux turns, ducks in. Benley stays with her. Blocked from behind. That was Clark. Now Clark looking to push. Cross-court pass. Pull. Back to Clark. She will launch and bury a three. All is trying to clear 8. Shot clock down to 9. Here is Clark. Gets inside. The scoop shot falls. Hamby high-low, blocked from behind. That was Caitlin Clark, and a shot clock violation. Well, some really good defense here from Indiana to close out the half. The closest the Fever have been since early second quarter. Indiana's battled back within 3. Dangerous pass. It's Clark who's off to the races, and Caitlin Clark pulls the Fever back within 1. Now the Fever have 5 on 4. It's Clark way outside. Boston the rebound. Clark on the fake. Clark weaves inside and the reverse. So Christie Side's going to trust her second-year pro. 5 fouls. Just under 8 minutes to play. Clark finds some space and hits a three. Brink lobbing it inside. Hamby denied. It's 22, Caitlin Clark.
She's up there with rebounds, up there with steals. And she'll take the first three-pointer and knock it down and treat the fans to that. Getting Indiana going.
I think from the start you saw that they were just
As 3-point shooters set all kinds of 3-point records last year. Here's Caitlin Clark driving. She's got the first 5 points.
And that's the way to push the ball in transition.
Oh, they're not going to waste much time. Caitlin Clark has her second three-pointer. Clark has started out 2 for 3 from 3.
And creating a little space for herself. That's how she's feeling more and more comfortable with Caitlin Clark. They're feeling more comfortable with each other as the season progresses. Remember, a very young team.
Clark takes it away. Third turnover for the Liberty. 3 and some change left to play here in the first quarter. Caitlin Clark pulls it back, knocks it down. Her third 3 in the quarter.
Yeah, you got to be careful when you're going at Stewart. And how about this for another creation of her shot? And they're getting some looks.
Clark looking to challenge Stewart. Maybe not. That long wingspan turning her away, but Wheeler will take it inside. First year with the Liberty and the WNBA. Phoebish, the rookie, defending the other rookie. Caitlin Clark.
And Leonie Phoebish is known for a very versatile, long defender.
Jonquel Jones had the final say. First lead for the Liberty that didn't last long as Smith puts the Fever back on. Caitlin Clark, 13 points, pocket pass to Aaliyah Boston. Those two keep getting better and better. Lainey Hamilton and Stewart are your double-figure scorers for the Liberty. Clark feeding Samuelson out of that double team.
And that was a perfect slip. Katie Lou Samuelson just slipping right where she needed.
They've scored on 6 of their 8 possessions this quarter. Caitlin Clark to Smith. A rocket of a pass. And Boston lays it in. And the 8th rebound for Caitlin Clark. The runner falls off the glass, and Clark's first field goal since 7:48 in the second quarter. Berg's got 5 points off the bench. Caitlin Clark trying to wheel and deal. Dantas had a 3-pointer in the first half, and now that baseline jumper for her 5 points. Clark, as we mentioned, only 3 points in the second half. She had 13 in the first half, but has picked up a triple-double here today and gets the end one.
Clark hasn't shot the best in the second half, and this is just a great job. Little hesitation, change of speed.
This is the 4th and final meeting of the regular season between these two teams. Ionescu, Shore. Clark with her 11th rebound, feeding Mitchell for 3.
Ball. Mystics have opened up 0-4 from the floor. Clark, good feed inside. It's Samuelson.
Ball by Katie Lou Samuelson, and Caitlin on a dime right there.
Clark working on Van Loo. Oh, Clark, pretty step back, hits a 3.
Got a little separation. Extends from the body. That is usually when they call an offensive foul. You can lean a little, you can dip that shoulder.
Just 4 of 14 from the field, but they've got a 5-point lead. Clark circling around, sets up Samuelson, who's wide open, and cashes in with a 3. 18-5 run here for the Mystics after the Fever rattle off the first 5. Clark trying to answer, and does, with a 3.
Well, that'll get you back in it quickly.
Exactly what Christy Sides warned against after that big win on Saturday, not having a letdown. Still a long way to go here as Clark feeds it into Wheeler for the buckets.
Definitely a miscommunication. Recognize Shatori Walker-Kimbrough has no idea right here where Erica Wheeler is. It's a great back.
Dinkler misses on a 3 ball, and here comes Clark. This is where the Fever are dangerous. Clark gets it ahead. Wheeler gets it to go.
Just run. I guess he determined that Ariel Atkins had possession.
Clark the switch on to Dolson, steps back and buries a triple.
Steph Dolson's in drop coverage, and the screen is so good.
Kimbrough, she will launch. Samuelson, nice pass there to Clark. Clark behind the back. Oh, it's Smith with the finish. Brilliance from Caitlin Clark.
You run, this can happen. What a delivery. Clark behind the back to Smith. 2 points. Reach in, it's going to be hard to take it away from her. Plus the quickness.
Clark working her way inside, backdoor pass, Lexi Hull. Washington's missed their first 5 shots of the fourth. Here is Clark turning on the Jets. Clark gets to the rim. Indiana has numbers here. Clark looks to take advantage. Clark launches and hits a three.
Push, everyone runs. You run hard. Look at all that space.
3 minutes left to play in this one, and the hill is steep. 12 points. The Fever looking to erase. Here's Clark, catch and shoot. Hits a three. And another turnover, and Clark beats the pack back.
A few shifts, a downshift there, the deceleration and the finish at the rim.
Clark goes behind her back to get by Odyssey Sims, and that electrifies the crowd.
Matchup, but wait a minute, hold up. Oh my goodness. And the
Missed the opportunity for a three-point play. Baseline, nice move by Boston, count it.
in this Fever offense.
Got to look there at Christy Sides, like Coach Trammell in her second year, and there's Nalissa Smith
To them in the NCAA tournament. And I was like, what do they feed the players in Texas? Well, what are they feeding Caitlin Clark? Because there we go with another behind the back and fancy finish. Cowan is not happy with that call either.
An unpleasant, yes, trip back to the bench. And Courtney Paris goes over to talk to her.
All right.
They called it on Howard, her second. If anything, I thought maybe Kalani Brown might have been whistled for something.
Yeah, I didn't see that call at all.
Caitlin Clark. Howard blocked by Boston. Here comes Caitlin. Get it! Count it for Clark.
This game, the pace of this game, I'm not quite sure who it's benefiting. I guess you have to say the Wings right now because they're up.
Clark turned the corner.
But then again, here comes the Fever using the same prescription.
Caitlin through the lane. Boston from long range. Aaliyah Boston hits her 7th three of the season.
It's been really special and a fun year to be a part of. And we had a chance to ask Caitlin how is she taking care of herself. Great pass. What was that percentage? 60%.
You play a little golf?
What you doing, Pee Wee's? What you doing with your Olympic break?
Nothing. It's my strongest suit. I'm going north. I'm not going south.
All right.
Boston just knocked it down after a rough start. Clark, a little bit of daylight. Ooh, another fancy move by Clark. And now Samuelson's turn. Gave it to Cowan, who couldn't finish. Behind the back again for Clark. Give her another assist. And a chance for a three-point play for Smith.
In transition. Whoop. And a little spin on the finish as Nalissa Smith went to the line and did in fact complete the three-point play. Yeah, three back behind the back. Caitlin Clark.
We're so disappointed she didn't pull that one.
I think that was her team. Her teammates were standing up on the bench.
Boston, great look, great finish. Clark has played every second of this game. Chelsea Mitchell. Clark off the switch, found Smith, who laid it in. That is now 13 assists.
By playing together, you will hear all of these Fever players talk about the flow that they're developing.
Caitlin gives. All-Star game coming your way on Saturday. Both teams shooting at least 50% after three quarters. Oh, Caitlin.
Beautiful. Another really well-executed play. Indiana outscore Dallas in the paint 16-4. Timing.
Numbawale to McCowan, and now it's 10. Caitlin bottled up, but it doesn't matter. Caitlin, eyes up. Corner three for Hull. Hits it. Gets the lead back for Dallas. Boston cut off by Howard, but was able to spin around and get the bucket in.
Rookie in the building trying to make her presence felt.
Oh boy. Perfect.
Assist 16.
Clark with the ball in her hands. Another perfect pass to Boston, who waited for Howard to get out of the way. Caitlin decided not to shoot. Mitchell will. Hits the three.
Oh my goodness!
Tied again!
This is incredible!
Here is Clark off the screen, launches, and drops a triple. As Copper knocks down her second shot. Now on a back-to-back here tonight. This is really physically demanding.
No, it is extremely difficult. Just one, not only physically, but also mentally staying in it. Now, it's extremely difficult to stay mentally into it. What a great finish. She kisses it off.
Finish.
Man.
A 20-year veteran, Diana Taurasi, dialing back. And it's Clark on the other end at 22.
Within itself. Here you go. Pushing the pace after a made bucket has been Christie's side.
1 of 8 from the perimeter here so far. Diana with the 4th fastest pace of play. And that suits Caitlin Clark. Have a 33-16 lead. The WNBA Friday night Spotlight is presented by State Farm.
Attention to her. Really get out in transition. See if you can get some early quick buckets.
Oh, Clark hits her 3rd three. Caitlin Clark is red hot here coming out of the Olympic break. The way had just 2 first-half turnovers. They've had 7 here in the 3rd quarter. Clark step back on a deep 2. Oh, gets the shooter's touch. I think that was the right decision by Christie Sides not to challenge it. Would have been a tough one to get. Clark off the screen, finds some space, and delivers. It's a triple for Caitlin Clark. But Indiana back up double digits.
Yeah, you have to be able to close out. Maybe not a trap, but you got to be able to.
Caitlin Clark just wants to settle things down here for the moment. She gets the step on Cunningham. Clark gets to the rim.
Since the Marina Mabry trade, and she has stepped up her game in that opportunity. Caitlin Clark for 3, rattles it around for her first deep shot.
Definitely taking that golden advice. Recently being the first WNBA player that has recorded consecutive 20-plus point rebound games.
Look, she plays hard. I like the way she plays. I love her. I love the way Caitlin Clark is playing. The game right now is just, at an all-time high for the female.
90 seconds left to play here in the first quarter. Looking for Reese. Fagbenle tips it away and off and running. Caitlin Clark whips a pass, thread the needle. My goodness, what a play! And one chance for Tenny and the Fever. Fagbenle working it around here for the Fever. Good ball movement on this possession. Logo shot. Logo make for Clark.
The Indiana Fever. They make sure that the ball moves around until it gets back in the hands of Caitlin when she gives the ball up.
Well, the Fever on a 15-2 extended run from the end of the first quarter. Clark again, heating up. Penley with a huge block. An absolute wall at the rim leads to that. Erica Wheeler with the finish.
Having the best three-point shooting season of her career, but she can also bang in the paint.
Another assist for Clark, a back cut.
Chicago's been trying to find a way to get Rachel Banham going. That's one way.
Count the packets. Caitlin Clark has an and one.
Defense, because you score and you think that's your time to take a breather.
Reese is on the left of Banham. Shovel pass to Allen, who looks for Reese again, but Wheeler's in the way, and the Fever leak out. Caitlin Clark, a layup drill for her, for the Sky. Caitlin Clark running things. 8 assists, 15 points in the first half, looking to add to her tally. Ooh.
Caitlin Clark is able to play in space in transition, then she is deadly.
But now out of the game with 4 personals. Diamond DeShields has checked in, trying to defend Caitlin Clark. Smith, 1-foot runner. The Sky shooting 38%. Caitlin Clark, another three-pointer.
And it sets up her ability to drive. She is a hard check, tough to keep in front.
Clark, step back, hits a 3.
Scoring games, and Caitlin Clark.
Clark with the hesitation. Clark gets inside and lays it in.
Instead of turning it over, has made the most triples for LA. That's her 41st.
Clark stepping back on the baseline, knocking it down from the mid-range.
That's a beautiful mid-range step. Allowed me in there. It's always a learning laboratory when you're in the gym with these coaches in the W, because they work so hard at their scheme, and she lets the game come to her. I've never seen her push or force anything in the W. When the game slows down and you're a rookie, that's impressive.
Oh, Clark, beautiful find to a cutting Boston. Clark with 9 points, 7 assists here so far. Clark crossing over and dropping a three.
And Boston says, my bad, Caitlin, as Caitlin steps back and knocks down another triple. Caitlin Clark, so smooth.
Oh, and it's Clark with a steal. Clark off to the races. Sims giving chase. She won't get there.
And then the steal defensively and the layup.
Clark being watched by Nurse. Clark on the drive. Clark hangs and banks it home.
3 triples.
Clark trying to answer. You bet.
So good.
Clark working on McDonald, who gives it a swipe. Clark, step back, hits a three. And Mitchell knocks that one away. Here comes Clark going the other way. Clark going behind the back. Oh, it's Boston, an and one.
She's only shooting 67% from 3.
Clark on a step back, buries a three. Her international duties with Germany, also suffered an injury. This is just her 14th game and part of the challenge that Dallas has had all year. Clark catch and shoot and knocks down her second three.
Very well executed for Caitlin.
Have so much size in the front courts. Clark circling her way through, finds an opening and banks it home. Two-Fag Benlay. Indiana will reset. Clark fire away. You bet.
Come on.
Caitlin Clark with 14 points here in the first half. And she's knocked down 3 from out there. None deeper than that one. Pulls the Fever with a needed bucket there to stop the bleeding for Dallas. Indiana had gone up 5 and they're back up 5 here with Boston. Impressive take there. Banks it home. Clark pushing. Mitchell backdoor lays it in. Of it. That was the Mitchell reverse and Clark's 4th assist. The Dallas front courts. Clark shaking off Sheldon. Hits a deep 2. Zun trying to frustrate Clark. Oh, but Clark with 3 more. Puts her ahead of Simone Augustus for most total points by a rookie. Nice recovery defense. Clark hangs and finishes. Clark will reset with a shot clock down to 10. Clark shaking Howard. Clark gets to the rim.
Hips and
Wheeler in the game, getting Clark off the ball just a little bit here. We'll see if the Fever can free her up. Clark off the screen. Clark launches, hits a three.
triple number 5. They like running her off this Iverson cut into a ball screen.
Clark, yes! A new career high for Caitlin Clark. Her 6th three-point. Oh, and in the blink of an eye, an 8-0 run has nearly erased this Fever advantage. Mitchell, catch and shoot, buries a three. Sheldon hits the deck, no whistle either way. Dantas corner 3, knocks it down.
How about the confidence of Caitlin Clark to give it to Dantas in the corner?
They're hoping that can discourage Alyssa Thomas from making some of her great passes.
No one picks up Clark, who cans the three. Jones, who's taking a moment to get up.
See Caitlin Clark coming down the left side, just so much space.
Rebound flagged down by Clark. Indiana wants to run, that's why Mitchell serves it in on the dime from Caitlin, taking it at Caitlin Clark. Clark dumps it down, lays it in. Caitlin Clark running a master class right now for the Indiana. 12 from the floor in this first.
Good looks though, they're getting good looks.
Clark connects on a bomb.
Once Caitlin Clark was getting in game one, coming up the floor, in particular on the left side, DeWanna Bonner and her length right there. Good contest. The difference between game one and game
8-point Connecticut lead. Here's Clark looking to take Burton. Clark inside, banks it home through the contact on Connecticut players, but Nelson Adota couldn't finish that one. Here's Clark through the lane. Clark able to serve it in. 10 points to lead the way for Indiana for Caitlin Clark. Her second career playoff game, and she has been really good. Whenever Indiana hits a big bucket, she responds. Clark banks it in. Tough finish on the interior. 13 rebounds now for Boston. Here's Clark into the paint, able to finish.
Welcome back at Uncasville, where the game is tied at 41 after a great start to the third by
Rebound Clark. Her first board since the first quarter. Here's Clark through the lane, lays it in. Caitlin Clark with 18 and has gotten to the cup efficiently today.
Talked about Caitlin Clark and going to the right side and how she uses her shoulder and her body as she kind of flings the ball
from Connecticut. Clark gets Burton on her hip, separates and knocks down the midi. 20 points for Caitlin. With Veronica Burton, a team high plus 15 off the bench for Connecticut. As Burton gets inside of Clark, and Clark comes over the reject.
Player on the floor tonight.
Clark separating. That's a tough mid-range bucket for Caitlin Clark, who has... Here's Clark working behind Boston. Clark for the lead. You bet!
Just had a different kind of juice to her here in the fourth quarter. Creates the separation, going left. Big shot. Big shot.